What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? Shoebooty Sports coming at you Tuesday evening, per the always. Almost always anyway. I'm Graham Powell on this screen. That's Bradley on the other. Say what's popping, Bradley.
What is going on?
A few things here and there. We are on the cusp of the NBA Finals. One team has already punched its ticket in not dramatic fashion, but we'll talk about that and then some. But before we get going, quick shout out to our sponsor, Shoebooty Sports, is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your reward will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoebooty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoebooty Sports. How much of the Eastern Conference Finals did you watch? It's over.
Uh, yeah, it's over. I watched a couple of quarters of the first two games, but I watched only maybe 15 minutes combined of the last two because every time I tuned in, it was already out of hand for Cleveland. So I didn't stick around to see how it was going to turn out. I kind of figured how I knew it was going to end.
Yeah, you watched more of it than I did. When the Knicks went up 2-0, I thought, okay, if the Cavs the Cavs could do it. They've proven that they could come back from that. But obviously, when the Knicks go up 3-0, it's over. You're not going to beat the Knicks 4 times in a row if you're Cleveland. Anyway, and they lost in total give up fashion. Cleveland did in Game 4. Just looking at the score, you could piece that together.
Yeah.
Uh, that wasn't much of a series. We do have a series in the Western Conference. Series tied at 2 games apiece. The most I've watched of that series, I'm mostly just looking forward to the finals, but at the same time, I still think the winner of the Western Conference will become the NBA champion. So this matchup is more intriguing to me. The most I've watched of that series, the Western Conference Finals, was Game 3 when San Antonio jumped out to a 15-0 lead. I can't remember what night that was. Saturday, was it Saturday or Sunday night? One of those two. Game 3, and it didn't take long for the Thunder to come
That
back.
was game four, I thought.
That was Game
Or
3.
game four, they got up to like a set, like quite a bit of lead, but they didn't let them come back. So
Yeah, well, they jumped out to a 15-0 lead in Game 3. San Antonio did. Oklahoma City came back in seemingly no time and kind of took over and really didn't look back. San Antonio tried to make a run, but never could get within striking distance. Uh, from what I gathered, the announcers kept saying San Antonio not giving up. I'm like, yeah, but they're not making any noise. They're not a serious threat in this game. Game 4 was not the case. San Antonio punched them in the mouth early, like they did in Game 3, but they did not let them off the mat.
no.
It was all San Antonio. I
Helps when you
picked
have Wimby
Thunder.
hitting from the logo.
Yeah, um, I picked the Thunder in 6. I don't feel great about that. I'm gonna stick to that because I said that. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma City won these next two.
No.
Uh,
Also wouldn't be surprised if it went 7 games.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs won the series. Uh, I wouldn't put money on it. I still think Oklahoma City's the better team right now and will win 2 of the next 3. But if San Antonio did it, I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe I'd be a little surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked. If San Antonio wins this series, they're ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
If not, then it's nothing to really worry about. You have a lot to look forward to, be optimistic about if you're a Spurs fan. It's like, well, this team is coming. Wemby is only going to get better. Dylan Harper is only going to get better. De'Aaron
They're going to
Fox is
be
only going
back
to
to
get healthy.
back at some point. So,
Talking about San Antonio,
yeah.
yeah, it's possible. I mean, this could be a dynastic run that we're looking at. But I said I said that about the Nuggets the year after
Yeah, I
they
was going to
won.
say, Nuggets.
The year after they won it. But they let everybody get, but everybody else, like they kept Murray and Jokic, of course, but then a lot of those key pieces left. Well, when KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope left, I was like, oh, it's over. Like they're not going to win again the year that they let him go. And sure enough, they didn't. Uh, this Thunder team, what the youngest team in the league and the most talented, yeah, it makes sense to say this is the next dynastic run, which is funny because since the Thunder became a thing, if you said there was going to be just a Thunder team that won a championship, you would think surely it would be KD, Westbrook, and Harden and company. But they got there, but it didn't happen. Um, and then when Harden left, it was essentially over.
Yeah.
That Thunder team threatened, but I was like, if you can't win it with Harden, you're not going to do it without him, and they did. Um, but this Thunder team, best team in the league last year, best team in the league this year. I still got the Thunder winning it all. I I think it's their time. The Spurs are coming though. It's not going to be a long run for the Thunder. I don't know that this will be a dynasty. It might be a like a bad boy Pistons chapter. Now, two completely different styles between the Pistons and Thunder, but I think it would be that Pistons team and this Thunder team. But I think it could be a similar run of just we're going to get it back to back, and then eventually the Spurs are going to take over. That could be what we're looking at. And instead, like how it was for the Pistons, it was Jordan and the Bulls taking over. It could be the Spurs taking over in that way. I'm not saying it's going to be that kind of run where you're getting back to back three-peats. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But
I
Wimby
don't
is
know if
a
that'll ever happen again.
never say never, but probably not. I mean, I would say the odds would be against that happening. But Wimby is the type of player, he's a multiple championship type of player. And a player like that is going to have the biggest effect in a game like basketball where you only have five on the floor at a time for one team. That's going to make the biggest impact. When Tim Duncan got drafted by the Spurs, you knew probably going to win multiple championships. They won one his rookie year. They won it all his rookie year because, of course, David Robinson came back healthy and Jordan's Bulls were done at that point. So it was kind of perfect timing for that to happen. And then 2003, 05, and so forth. Won it a couple more times, right? I'm not saying Wimby's going to get five, but I do think Wimby gets two or more. I do think Wimby does get at least two. That's Spurs are destined to be a championship team, a multiple championship team. I just don't think it's this year. But if it happened, be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a little conflicted watching this series because I like this Thunder team, mainly because of the Arkansas guys, primarily Jalen Williams, the lesser known Jalen Williams, the one that's actually been playing the series from Fort Smith. And then the other Fort Smith guy, Isaiah Joe, he doesn't play near as much. But Jalen Williams has ended up being quite the role player for that team. So
Oh, yeah.
I want Oklahoma City to do well for him because I mean he was a great for Arkansas, a huge fan favorite, maybe the biggest fan favorite in a really
I
long time.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, so I naturally want to root for the Thunder to do well, but I really like the Spurs team. I've always liked the Spurs, just the way they run things, they run their organization, etc. They draft well. That's the thing. They draft well. They don't really get guys in free agency. When they traded for LaMarcus Aldridge uh, years ago, that was the biggest trade they had made in a really long time. And it helped them a little bit. But they mainly just draft well and just build a team. They know how to build a team. Pop is now in the front office. After they got beaten game 3, Pop apparently had a talk with the team, met with the team afterward, and something happened to where a fire was lit under that Spurs team, and they came out in game 4 and punched Oklahoma City in the mouth and didn't look back. Didn't let them off the mat, like I said. I I just want the team, the best team that deserves to win. I want them to win. I'm it's a fun series to watch for me. I I don't really have it. I don't have a dog in the fight. It's a good story either way, either outcome. The most interesting is San Antonio. If San Antonio wins the Western Conference and gets to the NBA Finals, that's a more interesting story to me. Uh, but if the Thunder do it, it's I mean you're going for back to back. Good stories all around. Anything to add to that?
About to say, there'd probably be some people happy if the Thunder did get eliminated. There's been a lot of complaints lately about all the flopping SGA does. I've seen one on the last game where he didn't even get touched and he hit the floor. So it's it's very interesting to see what this game has developed into.
But that's been
'Cause
going on for the
for a
last
long
couple of
time,
years.
LeBron made it famous. So
LeBron's done it. Uh, it is funny to me hearing the Spurs fans chant about flopping when they had Manu Ginobili,
this is true. Yeah.
who's as big of a flopper as anyone as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it is funny to hear them chant that. It's like, oh, now you have something to say about it. You didn't have
Yeah.
anything to say about it.
When it's not in your favor, you don't like it. But
Yeah, I mean it's typical fan behavior.
uh,
But that was an interesting. That's one thing I remember about watching that game and SGA at the line and hearing them chant flop or flopper or whatever they chanted.
flopper,
And
yeah.
yeah, and I was like, okay, these are the same fans that cheered for Manu Ginobili for 15, 17 years, however long he played there.
Manu Ginobili trips himself on a Euro step foul.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
like,
who made a I mean a great player, Hall of Famer,
great player.
but 100% flopper, known flopper. Anyway, good story, either outcome. I just want to, I don't know, I want to see the Spurs win it just to see the early ascension of Wemby. I guess if you want to say early ascension, uh, they're ahead of schedule as far as I'm concerned either way.
Yeah.
But it's also a good story for Jalen Williams, the Arkansas winning company, and the rest of the Thunder players if they get it done. Having said that, on the Eastern Conference side, it's weird to say that the Knicks have a chance, but they've won 11 games in a row. 11 in a row. I know it's the Eastern Conference, but still, 11 wins in a row to get to the NBA Finals. Jalen Brunson is peak right now.
Yeah. They've won most of them in very convincing fashion.
Yes. Again, I know it's the Eastern Conference side, You're not going to do that to the Thunder or the Spurs. You're not going to win that impressively. But right now, if you had to put a number on it, what percentage of chance would you give the Knicks of winning the NBA championship?
Uh, like a 40% chance.
That
35,
high?
40. Dude, I mean, they'll have a puncher's chance. I mean, they are healthy. I mean, and they are playing very well. We'll see how all this rest does to them, if it's going to be in their favor or not. So they'll have plenty of time to rest.
40% is pushing 50%, though. That's a pick 'em
It
at that
is.
point.
But the other side is 60% chance to win. That's a pretty good shot at winning.
I'd say 30%. I would say 35% tops because I mean 11 in a row is impressive. It is a good team. Josh Hart is a good complimentary piece. Brunson is Brunson.
Can you
It's
imagine how crazy that city would be if they win?
it would be wild. It if they find a way to get it
Multiple
done.
multi-million dollars of property damage in a couple of hours. I mean, it's going to be insane if they win.
Brunson should get a statue if the New York Knicks win the NBA Finals. I mean, they won't do it. They'll wait till he retires. But I'd say, yeah, just go ahead and just let's get that thing made. Let's go ahead and get it ready.
Yeah.
We're giving this guy a statue. Stephen A.
It's,
Smith, I saw a headline where he said if the Knicks win the NBA championship, Jalen Brunson will be the greatest Knick ever officially. Hard to argue that. It's
and it's
bold,
it's been a while, man, since they've been relevant.
yes.
And every year they want to be relevant. I mean, that's a big city, big market.
I
And
mean, I
here
was
they are, man.
yeah, I wasn't around in the '70s for those championship teams. Born in 1984. When was the last one? '73. Was that their championship?
Is that how long it's been?
'73 or '77? I want to say it was '73.
Whew.
But they won a couple in the '70s. Might have even been back to back. Not a Knicks historian. Sorry, everyone. Not sorry. Uh, being born in 1984, the best Nick I ever saw was Patrick Ewing. Not ready to put Brunson ahead of him. But yeah, if they get it done, it'd be hard to argue that. Two completely different positions. I mean, Brunson is scoring, point guard. Patrick Ewing, just a really, really great center. Was money on that baseline all day. They had some really good games with the Bulls, just in the regular season. I remember watching on NBC as a kid. Patrick Ewing, there was one game in particular. I just kept waiting for the Bulls to put him away, and Ewing was just money on that baseline every possession, and they were able to win that game. Of course, never beat them in a series that mattered in the playoffs. They did after Jordan retired. They got to that. They got to they won the Eastern Conference, got to the finals in '99, but had to play that Spurs team with the Twin Towers, Duncan and Robinson. And as good as
Jesus.
great as Ewing was,
Can you
that he's
stop
not.
with those two?
No,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything with David Robinson and Tim Duncan down there. Not
The
happening.
General and Dunkin' Donuts, man.
The Admiral.
Or the Admiral and
There
Dunkin'
we go.
Donuts.
The Admiral.
Excuse me, the Admiral. I've got a poster somewhere with him that says the Admiral. So
Of David Robinson?
yeah,
Where'd you
it's
get that?
somewhere, man.
Did you
Huh?
get that at like the book fair or something in elementary
Probably.
school?
Yeah.
Hey,
I
and
had
you
him,
still
and
have it.
and I still have my Michael Jordan poster with him dunking like with the earth in the background for Out of This World.
Wow. So y'all
I need to
kept
get that.
things.
Yeah, I mean
Did
it's
you
rolled
keep
up, and
them? Did you keep them or did your parents keep them?
oh, I kept them. My parents are going to throw them away.
Okay.
Barry was especially going to throw them away. He don't give a crap about basketball.
Yeah, I'm okay. Book fair. There's one. I'm sure
Yours
there were.
probably got destroyed by younger siblings.
So, yes, that's the thing. I have three other siblings that are younger, so we didn't. We hung on to things, but we didn't. Like me as a grown man, I try to get rid of stuff. I ran a
Yeah.
race Saturday, and I didn't like the way the shirt fit me. So the day of the race, I came home and dropped it in one of those closed donation bins. I was just like, oh, I don't like the way it fits. Never going to wear this. So I just drove there and tossed it into the bin. Not the trash. It was a donation bin.
I'm trying to be more like that. I think I've hit that point in my life where I've got too much clutter. I just need to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So been trying to do better about it.
Well, whenever I start to lose space in my closet, I'm like, okay, it's time to, because I have two closets. I technically have three. I have one by my front door, I have this one behind me, and I have one in my bedroom. And there was a point where I was running out of hangers. I was like, okay, I don't wear this many clothes. Let's go through and get rid of them. I took a whole trunk load of clothes to Goodwill in the last few months and dropped it all off. And it felt so good. Felt good
I
just
bet.
having that much space. I value space over stuff. And I won't call it anybody in particular. I'll just say I love my family, but there are a couple of people in my family that I would classify as borderline hoarders. Used to be. One has completely gotten over that from everything I've gathered because their place looks really nice.
Yeah.
Again, I
Great
know they're
job to
listening.
them.
I know they're listening, so I'm not going to call them out. But I've always had that in my memory of just I don't want to be like that, as in I don't want that much stuff. I know how good it feels to have more space over stuff. So anytime I can get rid of something, I will. Going back to the book fair thing, though, I remember getting one poster from the book fair. This is the most memorable thing I remember getting at the book fair. That, and I think something for my dad for Father's Day. It was like a coffee cup or something, or a Christmas ornament. I think it was a Christmas ornament that said number one dad, or it might have been a coffee cup. My dad doesn't drink coffee, so it didn't really make sense, but it was the thought that counted, I guess. Um, but anyway, the poster was a Cecil Fielder poster. You remember Cecil Fielder?
Yeah.
Okay. Built just like his son Prince and hit as well as his son Prince. They have the exact number of total home runs, career home runs, which is interesting tidbit of information there.
The two posters I wish I still had as a kid, which my sister ripped them off my door. Were out of cereal boxes, post cereal boxes. One was Nolan Ryan standing in front of a steam engine for the Ryan Express. That one was badass. And these were mini posters. And the other one was Ken Griffey Jr.
Mm,
But I still have a badass upper deck cardboard cutout of Ken Griffey Jr. with his sweet swing. So
yeah, it's a good one. Griffey is kind of the baseball version as far as marketability, even still. He's the baseball equivalent of Michael Jordan
yeah,
when it comes to he has like I mean I see Griffey Jr. shirts that are stylish like these days like today that are being worn and sold. Anytime I'm on like a Foot Locker or Champ Sports app or Nike, and I'm looking up shoes, just because that's the one thing I spend money on really is running shoes. I always see the Griffey Jr. shoes, those green, black, and white ones, the
yeah.
Nikes that are real sharp. They still have that exact shoe, and if I had the extra money, I would absolutely get a pair. Uh, when I make the big boy money when I get out of school, I'll might look into that as a eventual purchase. But his stuff is still as popular as ever, and he hasn't played and been good in a really long time. So I don't know. I don't remember when Griffey Jr. retired. I want to check this stat while I'm thinking of it. Uh, I mentioned Prince Fielder, Cecil Fielder, exact same number of career home runs. I think that total is 321. I'm going to double check that, but I want to say it before I look it up. Uh, while I'm looking that up, what else is going on in the sports world, Brad?
Well, in the NCAA playoffs for women's college softball, the Lady Razorbacks did a program first and made it to the Women's College World Series there in OKC for the very first time. Them, along with Mississippi State, uh, they punched their way to the College World Series for the first time in program history. Arkansas did it first. Mississippi State upset Oklahoma, of all teams. First time it's ever happened. Um, but yeah, the other six teams in the Women's College World Series are Texas Tech, Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, UCLA, and Nebraska. Nebraska and Arkansas are playing in Game 4 at 9:30. I think on Thursday night. So
It's Thursday night. I think it's 8:30 Central Time. I think it's 9:30 Eastern Time.
yeah, I think you're right.
8:30 Central.
So we'll
Yes,
see if they can't make some noise, man. I know. I mean, having Oklahoma not in the thing helps everybody else out. So
Texas is going to be tough. If I were picking the Women's College World Series, I would pick Texas to win it.
I'd pick Alabama.
Yeah, I would pick Texas. Alabama's a good team. Obviously, they're number one. At least that's what they're ranked.
Yeah.
I would pick Texas though. Alabama's almost like I mean, they're a good team. They're number one for a reason. But you know how you'll get those kind of just trendy picks for number one? Like they're number one, but you don't necessarily think they're the best team.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm trying to think of an example. I can't. Uh,
Whenever Purdue's ranked number one in the basketball, men's
that's
basketball, you know
one.
they're not number one.
Yeah, it's like,
So
yeah, okay, you got them number one, but they're not going to win the whole thing.
we'll just wait for them to lose to an unranked team.
Yeah, or just somebody else.
Yeah.
The, the year they got to the national championship, I was like, they're not going to win it. They'll make noise, but they're not going to win it. And sure enough, they didn't. But yeah, good example there. I feel that way about Alabama. Could they win the thing? Yeah, but I wouldn't bet money on it. If I were betting money on it, I would pick Texas. I think Arkansas can beat Nebraska.
Oh yeah, I think they can too.
Arkansas has good pitching, and they have probably as good of an offense as anybody in the tournament.
Yeah, their bats have been on fire. So
That's a really good team from top to bottom.
yeah,
That is a stacked squad that Courtney Deifel put together. That third baseman, I watched that game, that last game against Duke in the Super Regional where they uh didn't they run rule them again? I think they
yeah.
won both games via run rule.
I think they've won the last 5 games via run rule.
Yes, I watched that last one because I knew one, I didn't have anything to do, so that was nice. But two, I was like, yeah, this is a big deal. They win this, they're going to their first College World Series. So I made it a point to tune in, and it was this was going on the same time as the SEC tournament semifinal game on the
Yeah.
baseball side, Arkansas and Auburn, right?
Auburn, yeah.
And I was texting my mom. My mom and grandma were watching the baseball game, and she said, "Are you watching?" I was like, "No, I'm actually watching the softball game." It was more entertaining. It was a more now there were weather delays in both, but the softball game was more entertaining to me. Going back to the softball team, that third baseman was a vacuum. I can't remember her last name, McDowell maybe. I'm gonna look that up real quick, but she's a player. That's a really good Arkansas team. That I'm not picking them to win it, but I think they could beat
No,
Nebraska.
they can go in there and make some noise.
Absolutely. Um,
Yeah. Anything watching paint dry was more entertaining than the SEC tournament championship. That one was all around bad. It got started off on a bad note. The very first pitch, we hit it to the third baseman who throws wide to the first baseman. First baseman turns around and makes a phantom tag on our runner, and they call him out. We don't challenge it. That's our first out. And then we proceed to get two more on, which probably would have scored the guy who was supposed to be safe at first. And then we score 0 runs in the first, and then here comes Georgia. They line one right down the third base line and get a double. Bloop one out in between everybody, third base, short, and left field. Drops perfect, and then they put up 5 in the first inning. And after that, I turned the channel because I didn't need to see anymore. Because yeah, Arkansas was just not in it that day.
I checked out
The 2.5 hour rain delay didn't help anything, but dude, Georgia came to play. Arkansas obviously thought they had done enough to that point to be a host for the NCAA tournament, but the powers that be said, nope, you were not hosting, and now we are in the Lawrence, Kansas regional. So I am picking us to make it out of that regional, though.
before I touch up on that, two things. Ella McDowell is the name of the third baseman for the Arkansas softball team. I was right on that. She's a sophomore, by the way, so that's pretty cool. And also, uh, Prince Fielder, Cecil Fielder both had 319 career home runs. So I was close. I was off by two, but 319 instead of 321. Yeah, I checked out of the of the SEC tournament final pretty quickly. When I
Yeah.
wasn't, it was 6-0 at one point, and by then I kind of lost interest. I was like, there,
That was
it's
8-0 at one point. Like it
yeah.
was
So I think early on it was 6-0. Um,
getting run ruled in the championship game. I mean, not good.
okay, a lot of Arkansas fans thought the baseball team did enough to deserve to host a regional. I don't think they did. I had no issue with them not being the host of a regional because
Games.
they lost a lot of games before SEC play got underway and to bad teams.
Yeah, bad teams. Like
They got
Arkansas
bullied
State, you lost to.
by Arkansas State.
Freaking
Teams
who was
I'd
the
never
other one?
heard of.
Yeah, lost
And,
multiple to teams I'd never heard of.
and it was becoming a regular thing. Like
Yeah,
I would see the score on my phone and be like, oh, they lost again to I guess it's going to be a bad year. And it ended up
our
actually being a pretty decent year. I mean, it's not over yet, but it ended up
you
being a
know
much better season than I thought it was going to be based on the way things were going before SEC play got underway. But yeah, you don't get to host a regional based on if you're the chairman who came out and spoke about it. I don't know what he's a chairman of, but he was the spokesman answering questions about this why Arkansas didn't get to host a regional. He said, "Yeah, we looked at the whole body of work and they didn't do enough to be able to host a regional." I completely agree with that.
yeah,
You you can't just mail it in early on and kind of get things on the right path in SEC play, and then just get run ruled in the SEC tournament championship game. I know a lot of even the years Arkansas has the best team, they don't win that tournament, the baseball team. So I don't think much of it, but you got to put together a strong showing if you're on the cusp of hosting a regional or not. If you're on that, if you're being considered and you're just on the brink of it one way or another, you got to finish strong. They didn't do that.
nope.
So
Maybe if they would have made it close, maybe if they would have lost like 8-6 or something to Georgia, but getting ousted 11-1 after what the sixth inning or some shit like that, terrible. When our defense is bad, bad news bears bad. Like they are terrible.
Yeah. Anytime I've
It was
watched a
pretty.
baseball team this year, they've lost.
It was pretty cool to see the kid from Lone Oak be on the bump
Yes,
for a
Steele
couple of games.
Eves.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he's done well from what I've seen.
yeah.
Now, me being us being Lone Oak guys, and me being the one on Facebook, I see other Lone Oak people posting when he does well. So I don't know enough to be able to say whether or not he's having a great year or not. But he's done well recently, so good for him on that. You had said you got Arkansas coming out of that regional. I do too. If like that's the thing, you're not going to get to host a regional, but you get to go to Kansas. Yeah, I think you're the best team in that regional. Kansas fans are griping about that, by the way.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. I mean that and Southern Missouri. I mean, they don't want to see either of those two teams. I am surprised that they get to host because I think their high school stadium only holds like 2,500 people or 3,000 people. So
you're talking about Missouri
that's
State.
oh yeah, Missouri State, my bad.
Okay.
Um yeah, Kansas's ballpark is like as big as Bogle, probably smaller than Bogle Park. Like it's kind of a joke for especially for a D1 baseball stadium. So a little surprising, but hey, I guess you gotta let the small guys host too.
You want to get some diversity amongst the conferences, I guess. I guess you don't want to be seen as just we're favoring the SEC.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pick a team that's not going to host a regional from the SEC, I would pick Arkansas because of
Yeah.
all the
But
reasons I mentioned earlier.
and the bad news is if they make it out of that regional, which they should, it ain't looking good for who they got coming up next. It's
Okay,
Georgia
go.
Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go over that real quick. Who? Because I've heard that, but I don't know what they're referencing. I know
So
Georgia
so the
Tech is
yeah
really good.
the yeah Georgia Tech, the number 2 team in the country, is in the other side of the bracket that the winner of that regional would host probably the super regional. Out of that bracket is Georgia Tech, UIC. Uh, I don't know where they're from. Citadel and Oklahoma. I don't see either one of those three upsetting Georgia Tech. I see Georgia Tech cakewalking through their regional. Um, it's probably going to be bad news for Arkansas. Like that's a solid team, Georgia Tech.
Really good offense. If anybody can challenge them, I think it could be Oklahoma. But yeah, I would pick Georgia Tech. But Georgia Tech, Georgia, both what top five teams in the country, and about 90 minutes apart from each other, and with that much offense for both teams, pretty impressive.
Pretty dang impressive.
Yeah.
State of Georgia's on fire right now, man. They're doing well in pretty much everything.
Yeah, good for them. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Arkansas can make noise at something. Maybe the I don't know, maybe the Women's College World Series. We'll see. But uh, we're gonna get off of here and go watch the Game Five of the Western Conference Finals, and we'll be back next week with everything going on in the sports world. But until then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
See y'all next time. Deuces, y'all.
Peace.